touch briefly on this Chelsea Maresca situation. I think obviously whether he was fired or he resigned, the most important thing or what the word that is out is that Maresca is no longer the manager or coach of Chelsea Football Club. And it's unfortunate because they play Man City and who knows how that is going to impact the results. As an Arsenal fan, I would want them to win that game. But the way it's looking, I don't think that's possible because they are not in a good, their form wise, they've been terrible. Yeah, Chelsea, they've been terrible. And honestly, I do not think Maresca was to blame or is to blame for their results. Here is my very strong opinion on this situation, right? And I said it a couple weeks ago in one of the episodes that I dropped, and it was out. Like I think it's also well known now that his hands were obviously tied. Seeing news or things come out like the medical team were having to determine player selections, like substitutions, talking about managing workload and stuff like that. So it kind of puts a lot of things into perspective, explains why he was rotating the squad as often as he was, even last season, right? And also why he was making some very weird substitutions, like bringing up Kopama when Chelsea actually needed him the most, right? So I don't like this programmability side of their model. Like you can't treat this situation like it's like an AI or ChatGPT where you just by the 70th minute, regardless of whatever is happening in the game, certain players, these players will come out, right? It frustrates the manager. And it in my opinion, it will not allow the manager get the best out of the team. Now, whether the players also think that Maresca was inept in his tactics, that's a different conversation, right? But the fact that with the setup, he was able to win the Conference League, which was expected, right? Chelsea winning Conference League is like, they were always going to win it. However, the Club World Cup, in my opinion, was a big statement for Maresca. It was a big beating PSG the way they beat PSG, the way they got to the final. Yes, they didn't play the difficult things, but they got to the final and they won 3-0 in the most convincing performance I've ever seen from a Chelsea side. So that kind of gives Maresca that status of, oh, this guy looks like he's elite. And also the fact that Man City are currently cutting him to replace Pep should tell the Chelsea hierarchy that the kind of manager that they're about to lose. But I think they don't care or it doesn't matter to them because their business model, playing everybody, giving everybody minutes, trying to preserve the squad or improve the value of certain players so that they can sell. They are literally operating that club like it's a shop in Anambra, Onitsha, buying and selling, and it's affecting their performance. They are not able to stay consistent. And whoever it is that they bring in next, I just hope that the person is able to negotiate that part of the contract.
Yeah, I'm Rosinho.
What do you think about that guy? I don't really know. I think he manages Strasbourg.
Strasbourg, yeah. So I give him this. First of all, I'm not a Maresca fan that much. I genuinely am not convinced that Maresca is a very good coach. Now, it pisses me off that I'm having to learn that his hands were tied. Because that weakens my position. Because now, well, if his hands were tied, that might explain some of the ineptitude that I'm criticizing him for. So maybe it's better than I think. That's first thing. Secondly, Chelsea they have this deal with, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think there's something about Chelsea hierarchy and Strasbourg hierarchy that is kind of like interlinked together. That's why they sign a player and they loan them to Strasbourg because they just have this partnership.
Strasbourg is like their child club, right? Chelsea's parent club.
Yeah, something like that. So now, if they are getting a manager from Strasbourg, my first thought is that guy is a puppet. Which fits into this conversation because what we are talking about is the fact that Maresca basically did not want to be a puppet. Yeah. So he clashed with the hierarchy and they sacked him. So I think Rosinho is going to be their errand boy, so to speak. And from a business side of things, it works perfectly for Chelsea hierarchy. Already, they are a very good selling club. Now, when you think about their business model of buying like 100 players, loaning them out. They get a few good performances. They sell them for a profit. Even the ones at the club, make sure you play them. If they play well a little bit, you sell them. Because that's the only thing that's the only way to make sense out of what Chelsea does. Chelsea sign players as long as they are available. Like, they just sign players to sign players. A lot of their transfers don't make sense.
Don't make
That
sense. Yeah, I
Garnacho
agree.
signing doesn't make sense till today to me.
I mean, a lot of their signings, and
Yeah,
I
a
think
lot of their signings
Gittins,
don't make any sense.
Garnacho, Dilap, these signings were not Maresca signings.
I agree. At least in hindsight, I
Yeah.
agree. So now it's like they just want to operate the club as a business.
Yeah.
Which tells me that they are going to fail. Because the thing about football is that you cannot operate football. I mean, you can think it's a business ultimately, but if your club is going to succeed, you cannot run it with a business mindset as your primary focus.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. That said, I'm curious to see what the next 3 years looks like for Chelsea, because Chelsea are a club that typically wins. Whether they are good, whether they suck, they just somehow win. Right from the time of Abramovich, they just managed to win one way or the other. So I guess based on that, you can give Maresca a lot of credit for winning the Club World Cup, despite how much his hands were tied. I don't expect them to win anything meaningful in the next 3 to 4 years. But historically, they are a winning club. So we'll see how that goes.
I mean, they could do well in the Carabao Cup this season. Yeah, in the
I think you guys are playing them, right?
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing about
I'll be
Arsenal.
rooting for them for sure.
Semi-final last season against Newcastle, we lost 2-0 at home. We lost 2-0 away. Now we're in the semi-final again against Chelsea. Until this crop of players do it, I can't back them for anything. That's just
do you think Arteta should rotate in that game?
Against Chelsea? Hell no. I think play your best, your strongest 11, get to the final, win that final, and use that confidence to, win the other trophies that the season has to offer.
That makes sense. I think I agree with that for sure.
And we also have the depth to actually do that. So, like, there's no, I don't want to be that semi-final. I don't want to be seeing Nogard or Nwaneri or Uncle. Anyways, I think there's not really much to say about the Chelsea Maresca situation. I think a lot of Chelsea fans will agree with what we just said, right?
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a shift from that business model if Chelsea wants to actually succeed. If they don't do that, it's just going to be a loop, an endless loop. This Liam guy, Rosinoa, is going to be a puppet, like he said, errand boy, basically. And he will get to the point where he would also be frustrated, especially if he grows, in influence within the squad. You feel like he needs to do more, and they will be there again to do what? To chop his hand. Anyways,
I saw something about Chelsea fans wanting to stage a protest. I don't know if that's true or not.
Protest really help anything?
It doesn't help anything.
I mean, the owner of the club,
at least it's good for them to get their voice out.
Yeah, I get. I mean, of course, that makes a lot of sense, but we'll see. As an Arsenal fan, my final thought on this, you will never catch me wishing Chelsea well anywhere. You will never catch me wishing Chelsea well. I will always wish them misfortune, and the fact that this is happening, I'm so happy. It is sweet my belly. Let me drink to that. Long may it continue. Maresca, okay, fine. Bring another person. It does not remove the fact that we own that club. I can't remember the last time they beat us now. Home and away. We just do the job against them. Quickie, sharp.